what's done is done. The wax has all melted, and you can see the rising sun. Pay no mind to the battles that are won. We are one. My son, my son, my son. Waxy feathers, stormy weather, bound and tethered, two together could do better. Can't be severed. Write a letter just to send her. Could you ever seek some shelter? Clear your mind and mirror, mirror. Touch each heart, teach each other, reach each other. Be his brother, be her lover, be one body, be one people, be one chapel, be one steeple. Be my children, be my garden, be my sheep and be my harvest. I will sing you, I will clean you, be my eyes and I'll always see you. Welcome back to my channel. I am Ether. This is a part 2 to the video that I posted the other day. So if you have not watched that video, please go and watch that video before this one. This is a continuation. So I put the lyrics to the music and it was awesome. That was the same lyrics that I channeled yesterday, but I added another portion because it came to me. So I was not going to do a part 2. This was not intentional. This was not planned. but Spirit would not leave me alone about the reading that I just did. So that was a channeled song to help us get into the energy. I may post the lyrics in the description. I may also not. Depends on if I'm called to after this reading. All right. I'm going to do a sound cleansing, and then we're going to get right into it because I have written down some things for this reading, and I'm going to do it in hopefully a more structured way, but Spirit has a lot to get out, and there was a lot that I missed in the last reading, and I feel like for those who it was truly for, you felt that, and like I said, Spirit has not been able to leave me alone about where I missed information that was being given to me, and I want to come back and give some of the information and touch on some things that I was not able to. So let's cleanse the energy, and then I'm going to get into some of the things I know I missed. Okay. I have to say, I will not be pulling cards until after I read some of the things that I have already channeled, because like I said, the messages were coming at me quick and all day, pretty much since I ended the reading the other night. And I haven't known, Spirit has not shown me a moment of peace, honestly, since, like, no, you missed this, this, and this, and here's some other messages for the collective, and here's this. So I've tried to write them all down in my notebook. All right. Part of what Spirit really wants to talk about and touch on in this reading is the trauma that I looked past in the last one. I feel like the last reading was comfort for you, collective, but it did not touch on some of the deeper feelings that you need to be exploring right now and that are coming up for you. And it's a very heavy energy, so I understand why the other night I wasn't tapping into it, because I was tapping into a lot, and that on top of it may have just been too much for both myself as a reader and also you as an audience member and person who's receiving all this information, if it does align with you. So there was this energy of trauma that I'm going to get to and touch on. And there was also an acknowledgement that yes, you are protecting something. And you have something to protect. There's also more messages about what you feel you're fighting against with this Queen of Wands in reverse energy that we were talking about. And we're going to pick up on that because there was an element of control that I was feeling that I didn't really fully touch on. I did say that you were safe from that energy, but I feel like you have other concerns involving that energy that I did not get to. So because you have these other concerns that I was not able to get to, Spirit is urging me to get to them today. Okay, so first and foremost, there's the story about you being reunited with this counterpart. And there's also this theme of you having to acknowledge this trauma. It's trauma surrounding, and this is why there's a trigger warning on this video. It's trauma surrounding abandonment and assault. In particular, I am looking back on it now and understanding there's definitely themes of maybe sexual assault and trauma. And I'm looking back on it because of that Tool song, and I didn't share what the Tool song was, but the Tool song was Prison Sex. Hopefully this video doesn't get flagged or anything. I don't really, I hopefully it's just able to stay up. I don't think that it's gonna be that big of a deal, but I did trigger warn it for a reason. But the song was Prison Sex, and the music video is rough, and ultimately it's about feeling used, feeling objectified, and with that imagery and that connection paired with 10 of Swords, and also even just the name of the band, Tool, it was bringing up a lot of imagery of being used and potentially assaulted. So you may be working through some sort of trauma. And I feel like on a collective scale, you know, I feel like we are unpacking traumas that are perhaps harder to unpack than some of the other things that we have learned how to cope with. So there's definitely this energy of abandonment and trauma, and I may expand on it further, but for right now that's all I'm being guided to say on it. I have a feeling that when we pull cards on it, we might get some more information, but there's definitely an element of trauma, and I think that this is mostly just a confirmation that yes, Spirit is proud of you for the processing that you're doing regarding this, even though it feels very hectic and jarring, and you know, trauma responses are very hard to manage. Sorry if I'm like having a hard time getting my words out. The energy is very heavy, and I get the sense that for this collective, this is something that's very hard to talk about. And I have a feeling that maybe you came to Spirit recently about this trauma, and there's another energy here. I don't know if it's you or someone in your field, but this is somebody who feels used by God too. And one of the messages that was coming up while I was trying to get a little bit more information for the collective today is feeling like you have a one-sided relationship with God. I might have said that in my last reading, but this one, it's definitely coming out. So yeah, there's some abandonment trauma. You may even have felt abandoned by God. And I think that when we go through really traumatic experiences, that's very normal to feel, regardless of how ascended you are. Grief and trauma do that to us. They completely dysregulate our nervous systems, and you know, it is easy to feel abandoned by God when you are in so much pain and have been through so much. And it's easy to question why God would let that happen to you, but God didn't do that to you. And I feel like we're going to expand on this more. There's a bit of a stubborn energy that I feel as well from someone in the collective. So like I said, this could be you. This could be someone in your field, but I definitely feel some stubborn energy. Taurus, Sagittarius, Libras can be stubborn. I don't really know. I'm not big on astrology, y'all, so. There's also a couple of lyrics that came through. There's the second part to the song that I sang earlier, which I will read out the lyrics right now. Waxy feathers, stormy weather, bound and tethered, two together. Could be better, or could do better, can't be severed. Write a letter just to send her. Could you ever seek some shelter, clear your mind and mirror, mirror. Teach each other, reach each other, be his brother, be her lover. Be one body, be one people, be one chapel, be one steeple. Be my children, be my garden, be my sheep, and be my harvest. I will sing you, love and clean you. Be my eyes, I'll always see you. So that feels like a message from Spirit. The entire song is a message from Spirit. I mean, it's channeled directly, but this is like a message from Spirit to like be one as a people. There's a lot of forgiveness here. So perhaps with that conflict that you were facing, there may be an element of forgiveness. And I definitely felt like this was something that you felt was unattainable in this situation. Like maybe you didn't feel forgiveness was attainable here. The other lyrics that came up were actually not ones that I wrote recently, but ones that I wrote a while ago. It's one of my original songs. And it, I'm not going to sing it, I'm just going to read out the lyrics. Moon waxing, waxy candles. Whack is the way he handles my heart. Hard to hurt and hurt too much. Must get back to where I was. Was too soon and a little too late. Fate makes life out of mistakes. Late to every date I've made to hold gently all our love. Love until you've loved enough of the rough stuff and the blood. So maybe some of those lyrics could be significant for you. Okay. So moving forward from there, the next thing I wrote were some key elements that I knew that I missed that I pulled a couple of extra cards on. So I'm going to go through what I wrote down and channel from there before we get into the actual reading. Because this is a reading, it's just, I did it yesterday because Spirit wasn't leaving me alone about the things that I missed, so. Control. There was that energy that was in control over two people. And these were two people that were on a path towards something. There was an element of origins here. So, like, it could have been, there was a lot of past life energy, so it could have been a past life, like a discovering of origins. Maybe these two people were supposed to discover something together, or build something together. There was something about, like, cost, like, something that you have to lose. The phrase an arm and a leg was, like, being given to me for some reason, like something costing an arm and a leg or something like that. I feel like there's also an element of opportunity here, an opportunity for two people to seek deeper information about their past, like their soul's past. But there's an element of hopelessness here and feeling like something is never ending. And there was this Page of Pentacles energy, which I felt the energy of the collective coming from it. So I'm going to say you. You were coming forth with this fourth dimensional time energy. The time card that I had was split directly in half, like when it came out of the deck. And it was really interesting, the downloads I was getting from it, because it was like, I was getting this energy of someone who might have control over time. Like, it was a really intense, like, cosmic energy. Somebody who operates on a higher level. You, like, operate fourth dimensional or higher. And because of this, you actually have some sort of gift or ability to distort or do something to time. I think I wrote more about that, so I'll get back to it. But there's definitely something coming through about that. Cards also continue to fall in that same spot under the desk over and over and over again. And the cards that fell this time were feeling small, gratitude, son, daughter, west, and scrambled. And not west, nest, although maybe something to do with west may be significant directionally for you. Directions in general. There's an element about a compass that keeps coming up, something about a compass. Something about someone being your compass or you being someone's compass, or like this like relationship with this other soul where like you're always like pointed to them. It's really interesting. Or like maybe like you share this gift or ability to be able to like look forward to this future or like to this past. There's a lot of weird time energy here. Like there's some like really ancient energies I'm picking up on, and some like weird almost future or like higher dimensional energies. It's sort of a lot to conceptualize, let alone verbalize out loud in the reading. But yeah, nest was what I meant to say. And scrambled, and I was hearing like, I'm gonna scramble your eggs, and like it sounds funny, but then I like related it to this line in Macbeth, which was like this murderer came in and like was killing Macduff's family, and he like killed. Sorry if the things changed a little bit in framing. The video stopped and I continued reading, and I did not know that the video stopped, so I'm going to try to pick up where I left off. I was talking about the last the video got, I was talking about Macduff's son being killed in the Shakespeare play Macbeth. I know, theater kids jumping out of their pants when I say the word, but I was just in the show, so whatever. Great show, by the way. But anyway, the murderer like kills his son and says "you egg," and there's a lot of like chicken and egg references when it comes to Macduff's family. So there's an element here of you knowing that there's something that you need to protect. And so I readjusted the camera because it stopped again. I am going to try to prevent it from doing this in the future, but for right now there's nothing I can do about it. It just keeps stopping. I have a really weird time with electronics. They just always freak out around me, and I don't know why. Maybe just something to do with my electromagnetic field or something. I don't know, but so I'm trying to remember where I was. Protecting something. And there's this energy of somebody close to you who there was some kind of betrayal with. Perhaps they aren't very accepting, or they're bigoted, and you're getting freedom from this. You're being given freedom from this, or you're seeking some kind of freedom, but perhaps that means that you had to create a distance between you and this person, this family member. I'm hearing the song, she got away, she got away. Yeah, so you're being given a gift as well, perhaps, but you feel too small to use it right now. Like you feel too young to use it, but you are small but mighty. And last night I was having a lot of dreams about this conversation. I don't know, it was, I have dreams sometimes where it's literally just talking, and I can't always make out who the voices are, if they're my own or someone else's. But I remember getting this message in my dreams, in this overhearing this conversation that was talking about someone being stronger than they think they are, and older than they think they are, and more important than they think they are. So you are very ancient. You don't know fully what you are. That's coming up here. Like, you're being given a gift that's reminding you who you are. But you know, will you take it? And I think the answer is yes. I'm feeling a affirmative yes from the collective. But perhaps you just, yeah, there's a lot of energy here because you're going through this ending, this releasal of somebody that was bad for you. And also understanding that you have something to protect, and that might be why. There's this energy of like, because there was an energy of this person trying to control two people, perhaps this was you and a partner, you and someone else that is important to your path, to your journey, to your community, a part of your family, and this other person maybe wasn't accepting of them. Persephone's energy has come out in this reading, so I will say that if you feel like, oop, did you see my incense just fall? If you feel like you need to mend relationships, Persephone is a good deity to work with because she works with complicated relationships, and she does help with those things. So I felt called to give that message as well. There's Mama Bear energy here, so yeah, you definitely have something to defend, to protect. There is also a message that for those that you have had to cut out, maybe like cut out of your 3D life, you can have soul conversations with them and find forgiveness and peace on other dimensions and in other realities. And there's an element of being grateful for what that taught you. There's something about soul contracts, dreams, yeah, forgiveness. Perhaps these are all things that you sweep under the rug a lot. You don't always look at them or acknowledge them, or like I said earlier, there's an element like you feel like they're hopeless. Like there's a piece of you or someone in your energy field that feels like forgiveness is hopeless, like forgiveness or reconciliation is hopeless. There's a couple of very different energies that I'm picking up on here. So this is going to be a little different in situation. Like the energy, the two main energies that I'm feeling is somebody who had to cut out their mother because of their relationship, or somebody who has been let down over and over and over again, and the feelings that I'm feeling from it feel like a combination of love, romantic love, friendship, and familial expectations or bigotry. So maybe there's an element here of feeling trapped where you are at currently, or having felt trapped in the past, and this has an effect on your relationship with your soul family or your friends or people who are very, very important to you in your soul's path, your community. And there's an energy that is a threat directly to that community. That kind of nasty, vindictive, mean energy that I was picking up on in last reading. And so I have this feeling that you cut off this person, or you're thinking about cutting off this person. This has a lot of heavy generational wounds, and also like long-term like trauma wounds, like I was talking about earlier. So in this situation, perhaps one of the reasons you're being called to unpack that trauma that I was talking about at the beginning of this reading is because it's affecting the situation in some way. It's affecting the way that you show up in these interpersonal connections and relationships. Yeah, these are generational wounds that aren't just 3D. These are like upper dimensional soul generational wounds, like a soul what's heritage, like like I'm seeing like a family tree, but like soul family trees, and this is a really big one. Like this might be like the family, like it's very interesting, but there's an element of betrayal and abandonment wounds here, and it could kind of go back to that. I think I was mentioning about you feeling abandoned by God, or like you're in this one-sided relationship with God or something. And this gift that you feel too small for, or not strong enough for, or whatever it is, I have a feeling that it's that same like time gift, the fourth dimensional, like time, control over time. I feel like I'm talking to someone who, this is not for everyone, but someone who can like alter time itself. I heard you have authority over the fourth dimension. So you can like split time in half. You also may come from a darker line of energies, a family line. There's a deep history, like I said earlier, family betrayal, unfaithfulness maybe as well has been a cycle for you, or in your family. But yeah, you're running away from something. Like I'm getting an image of somebody running away from the rain to seek shelter, but the rain is symbolizing something here. Perhaps memories, like a influx of past life memories is what I'm reading. And it's almost making you wonder, are these real or are these fake? And so you're running away from them, because it's something that's very ancient. There's something here about following the sun and sunrises. I know that energy. I know that energy well. And perhaps it's in relationship to that mission that I was talking about, that you feel you have from the first part. So there's value to this mission and to these memories. And I feel like you're being told, and you already know this, but that you have to keep it very secret because of that. These are memories that you can't just share with anyone. Yeah, you can control time. And you're growing to understand this power better. If you don't feel it like you understand it right now, you will soon. There's an element of like refreshing something. It's like a refreshing for growth. Like refreshing for someone's growth. Maybe you or someone in your soul family. You're refreshing something for your own growth, or remembering something for your growth. Yeah, there's a tree. There's an element of a tree here. I was seeing a family tree, and there's another tree that's showing up right now that I'm seeing. You may be doing things in your sleep. Something about this in your sleep as well, like I said. For some of you, I don't know if this is your energy or someone else's, but someone is angry about these memories, this origin, these soul origins, because these origins feel very painful, but also very loving, and yeah, like holy. They have a deep value. And this energy that I'm picking up on maybe has a hard time acknowledging that they used to be something other than what they are, especially if you have been a certain way for a long time in your soul. Perhaps this person, whether you or someone else, doesn't want to see their origins. Yeah, for some of you, this is others. For others, this is you. Regardless of whether or not this is you or someone else, it's important to acknowledge that this is interfering. So either you are interfering with something that is actually important for your growth, or someone feeling this way is interfering with something that you are doing. You're being given an opportunity to go deeper here, but you have to do that with discipline. You can't just dive into it and do it impulsively. You have to do it bit by bit. There's a refresh of time here. So much to do with time. Past life traumas. Yeah, past life traumas. Perhaps these traumas that you had, that I was mentioning earlier, this deep trauma is not just this life. You may have experienced that in other lives as well. Yeah, trust your memories and write them down. Writing them down will be really helpful for you. I feel like you may struggle with some memory retrieval issues when you connect, so please write things down. Especially if you have ADHD, because yeah, I gotta write things down or I will forget. They'll just leave. Especially because this information can be really hard to hold, so there's a reason we forget it. So I would write them down so that you can process things. a frequency, a light. It's like someone turning the brightness up, but using time travel energy to do it. It's such a weird energy. But yeah, like a synchronicity for someone, or a something for someone. This might have been back to a time when you were a soldier, some kind of soldier. I don't know if this is past life, other dimensional, or something, but something about being a soldier, and about changing something in time and like turning the brightness up, maybe looking deeper into it. Yeah, you still have a lot to learn about this new power, this new potential. For some of you, this new sword. It's like it's a power. It's something, and you're getting clarity. I think that religious trauma is also notable here. So there's a couple of traumas that I'm noticing here. There's like attachment traumas with like parents. There's abuse trauma here, like child abuse and sexual abuse, and things that make you feel powerless, out of control. There's PTSD energy here, so you may have struggled with these things. And there's also religious trauma, and I touched on religious trauma in the first part. And this religious trauma also makes you sweep things under the rug, sweep things away and avoid them. Things like forgiveness, hope. You may feel like God toys with you. I know I said this earlier, but it keeps coming back. You've been through a lot of really sick shit, like horrible shit as a soul. Like your soul has been through some horrific things, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I see some of the things that you went through. I see you. I see you. And I hold space for you, for your rage and your anger, for it protects you. It's a protective shield. God loves you. You are not dirty. You are not too far gone or lost. There's also a message about avoiding not all past lives. So not all of them. You do this too. Just a couple of the older ones. So maybe you have a couple of recent past lives, more recent memories or something that you actually do connect to and you know about, but these older ones are harder for you for whatever reason. It's almost like you're afraid to see that it hasn't always been this way, or this other energy is afraid to see that it hasn't always been this way. If you feel like you have a one-sided relationship with God, you can bridge that gap, because God is always within you. The only one who turns their face away is you. And it can be hard to see that, but maybe we can unpack it a little bit more. Okay, so finally I'm done with what I wrote down. So we can actually start pulling some cards. But those things were all very important. So what I want to touch on today is the trauma, the Queen of Pentacles. Who is this couple? Why control? So stuff like that. And if Spirit decides that that's not the way, then I will be talking about something completely different, because I'm just going to be asking what I missed here and what we need to know moving forward. All right. I'm gonna use my homemade deck because this deck seemed to have a lot to say last time. Okay. So why is this trauma coming up for the collective right now, Spirit? Why is this trauma coming out for the collective right now? Why is this trauma coming out? Discipline. Learn your triggers and discover new coping skills. Soul journey. Refresh. Discipline. Learn your triggers and discover new coping skills. Soul journey and refresh. You're not being punished, darling. Don't think that you're being punished by remembering these horrific things or having gone through these horrific things. I know that our soul journeys can lead us through some really hard things. It's important to remember that you are deserving of forgiveness and affection, and that love is not something that you have to earn. I feel like a lesson that you have struggled with in a lot of your lifetimes is that love is not something you have to earn. You don't earn love. Love is given freely. Yeah, as a child, I feel like you had unmet needs. And I think that your soul has had a lot of unmet needs throughout time. And Spirit wants to give you a refresh on this so that you no longer have to experience that. God wants to save you from that, basically. So that you can actually have fulfillment, satisfaction for some of you. I felt one of you like laugh at that, like me, satisfied. We have the Devil and the Page of Pentacles. I feel like you see yourself in a darker light than others, and that would make sense with the songs that were coming through. You know, in part one of this reading, you know, there's a lot of metal, Tool, and like bands like Slipknot, Tool, Disturbed, and there's another one. I know System of a Down came up. That might be your music taste. You might be into darker and edgier stuff, come from a edgier background spiritually. But I feel like actually as a child, you were probably, there's an element of religious trauma here. So you had a more structured religious upbringing perhaps, but it didn't meet your spiritual needs. But yeah, this soul journey, this trauma, I feel like you're clarified discipline, please, Spirit. You've been hiding from these pains, these traumas. You have never been alone, even when you have felt alone. I feel like you may not feel like it, but I feel like you have a very strong soul. I feel like you have an appreciation for the darker things in life, for the more gritty things. And you may feel ostracized because of that. I picked up on that energy in the part one. But you are worthy of love, and I already touched on this energy, but you know, God loves all of these things too. God is just as much all of these things as God is the light and the, you know, happy things. And there's a message here that you can't hide your face from God. God sees you all the time. And you're on this soul journey, and you've experienced this trauma as a transformation point, like a it's hard to understand this, but other people have free will, and they do horrible things with it. But for ascended beings, we can transmute that energy. There are sick people out there that use their free will to do horrible things. Creator created a bridge when those horrible things happen for pain transmutation, and that may also be a skill or a gift that you have been given, the gift of pain transmutation. The more pain you go through, the more powerful you become. It's like a loophole almost for the free will thing. You know, like, I'm sorry that some of my children do horrible things for you. Let me use this to make you stronger. And also because I feel like Spirit doesn't want to give you the things that you need too quickly, because it would be overwhelming for you. Spirit doesn't want to give you fulfillment too quickly, because it would be overwhelming for you. So it may take you longer to close cycles, but that's only because you have been sort of in the dark for so long, with unmet needs for so long. And you can't, if you got everything that you needed too quickly, it would overwhelm you, almost like drown you. And also, these traumas are coming up here so that you can learn some more discipline when it comes to them, because they are affecting this situation, so that you can have a refresh mentally and physically, spiritually. And you need to learn your triggers. You know, this is here. These old traumas and wounds are coming up so that you can learn those triggers and discover coping skills to help them. You know, research what you're struggling with. Research what has helped other people. You know, and it's going to be emotional, and it's going to be hard, and you're going to need to release. But you have so much potential. It just might feel a little bit lonely. I'm hearing this message of like missing someone who maybe understood this. It's important to have somebody who understands this. Yeah, there's somebody who understood maybe this kind of trauma, or power even too, maybe both things. Let's see if I can get any more information. But yeah, this was definitely, it's part of your soul journey. You're refreshing something, you're learning things about your trauma. These things are coming up now so that you can finally heal and understand how to, and healing is not a linear process, by the way. You know, there's never going to be a day where you're like, I'm fully healed from this horrible thing that happened to me. But you can transmute that energy, and you can find coping skills that help you to manage it over time. And over time, it does get easier to hold. Okay. Who is this other, okay. I'm not going to get into the Queen of Pentacles, or, I mean, not Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands in reverse energy first. I'm going to get into this counterpart, this person that you miss. Yeah, I saw the counterpart card just now in there. Who is this person you miss? I mean, I don't know. For some of you, maybe you miss them. For others, maybe they're still in your field. I don't know. Who are these two people? Who are these two people, Spirit? Cannabis card. That might be a synchronicity for something, like something about cannabis. Clarify this. Who are these two people? I think it's the collective and someone else. I think it's you and someone else. That's what I'm feeling, so I'm gonna trust that. For some of you, you may need to take a step back from your spirituality for your mental health. For someone, if you have used AI and you're being called to stop, listen. Could be having a negative impact on your mental health, and it also has a negative impact on the environment. So if you felt that, yes, stop. There's also an element of other kinds of intelligence here. So this could be someone who you connect to on other realities. Interesting. Who are these two people, Spirit, that were being controlled? The Star. You know who. Who does this... Okay, then if one person is the collective, then who is this other person to the collective? They're your strength. I'm hearing like you are my rock. Who is this other person to the collective? The Chariot, something about a choice, and Queen of Wands in reverse. Whoever your soul deeply cares about, this Queen of Wands in reverse doesn't want them to get their wish fulfillment. This Queen of Wands in reverse doesn't want them to thrive, to succeed. So there's somebody, yeah, there's a conflict. There's a tension between two people in your energy field. Perhaps it is affecting your ability to talk to one of these people. And it's also like there's a prevention of closure, of and of happiness. Yeah, there's a lot of sorrow here. I'm gonna do this. What is the collective's energy in this? Oh, I need to pull this card. Oh wait, no, guess I don't. What is the collective's energy in this situation? Okay. The Tower in reverse, not letting something end. Or wait, is that the Tower or the Hermit? Oh, that's the Hermit in reverse. You're isolating yourself. You're not letting something end and you're isolating yourself. I'm gonna still take that I saw the Tower. Strength in reverse. You don't feel strong enough for something? Strong enough to wield your power? Strong enough to talk? Something like that. Okay, what is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse's energy here? Not Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Queen of Wands. This other person, what is this other person? I'm going to call them the antagonist. You may not feel this way, but that's how they're showing up in the reading. So, what is this person? What is their energy here? This person is different for all of you. Like I said, for some of you, it's a mother. For some of you, you've already cut this person out, but they're having some kind of impact on you still. Knight of Pentacles. Perhaps this person represents some kind of stability to you. Yeah, with Four of Wands. This person represents some kind of stability to you. Who is this Queen of Wands in reverse energy, Spirit? What's their energy? And Ten of Swords. But there's pain here. The Lover's in reverse. Something went awry. And justice. There's justice being done here. Something went wrong here. Who is this? What is this Queen of Wands in reverse energy? And who are they to the collective? It's like they're trying to stop something between you and this other soul family person. Stop you from uncovering something. But there's justice for that. Brother, sister, so this could be a sibling. If not in 3D, then in soul. Like a soul sibling. But yeah, there's a brother-sister energy. Something about, cosmic energy here. So could be like a cosmic brother or sister. Anything else about this Queen of Wands in reverse energy? Something repetitive here. Yeah, again and again. Perhaps you've known this person for a long time. You may have a lot of inside jokes with this person, which would make sense if they're family. It feels familial, this Queen of Wands in reverse energy that I've picked up on. Okay. I'm going to stop reading for that. I heard I could drown in you. I'm hearing this front bottom song, You Are Water. It's called 12 Feet Deep by the Front Bottoms. You are water 12 feet deep, and I am boots made of concrete. Okay. And then, Spirit, now, who is this third person? The other person involved in this? Collective soul family. Who is this person and what do they mean to the collective? Six of Pentacles in reverse. Something that was worked on but didn't come to fruition. Ace of Pentacles. There's opportunity here still. The Sun. This person, I mean, you said earlier they're your strength. That was how I felt. Your rock. So this person symbolizes happiness to you. King of Wands, stability. The Emperor. This is like a very strong energy this person has. This person has some kind of authority. But with the Three of Cups in reverse, there's some kind of like drama or negativity involved. Hierophant, perhaps regarding some kind of structure. Perhaps this person is a bit of an anarchist. That came out for somebody. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, this person sits in their own power. So, interesting. This person sits in their own power. So what is the conflict? What do these people have? What's... Feels like a... I'm not saying anything. What is this? What do these people... What's a better way to ask this question? I mean, I'm sure you already know the situation, but those were just some confirmations between all these people. Why is this Queen of Wands in reverse energy? What are they trying to stop? Because I feel like they're trying to stop something. Strength in reverse and the Emperor in reverse. The Fool. Like they don't want you to come into this new beginning. They don't want you to communicate to this other person. Why? The Emperor. They want to keep you in isolation. They want to smother you. Definitely giving like a helicopter parent almost energy, but they want to have control over like every aspect of your life. This could be for some of you, this is a partner. But either way, it's someone in your life. Like it could also be like a sibling. Like I said earlier, it's a sibling. It's a familial energy regardless. Something to do with the home. Someone that you have known for a long time in your life. Six of Cups. Yeah, you've known this person for a really long time. Since childhood maybe. Or you've had past lives together. Okay. Well, what are they trying to stop? What are they trying to prevent? What is this person trying to prevent? 3D manifestation of something higher and alternate versions of the self. Dark. Soul journey. It's like they're trying to stop you from seeing something about yourself that this other person brings out in you, maybe. Destruction. What about this destruction? We have the learn your triggers and discover new coping skills alongside cultural differences. And then discipline again. Something with that trauma. It all connects back. It all connects back to that trauma somehow. Betrayal. It's like they want to keep you in that cycle of betrayal. They show up with a very watery energy, like a very emotional energy. They may use like the concept of soulmates or true love to get what they want. But really, they're just empty. Like an empty black hole sucking everything into it. And there's this energy of like it's an attention that's not even really wanted. Like maybe something in your soul doesn't desire it, but it's what you feel like you deserve for some of you. I mean, they're only going to take anything away from you if you let them, is the thing. Someone soon. Clarify someone soon. Restless. So yeah, someone's feeling restless in this situation. Might be you, might be someone else. Maybe for one of you, maybe you're worried if you don't like reach out to someone soon, they're gonna like find someone else. Yeah, hiding again. And justice. Something needs to happen to like make things right. Yeah, something needs to happen to make things right. Like you're sitting on something or sweeping it under the rug. It's so interesting. You have a lot of unpacking to do on something. This reading is taking like so long. It's like you might be an over intellectualizer, and that could be why you struggle with these things, because you feel like you have to solve everything or fix everything. So did we ever get any information on why this other force is trying to stop you? Why, Spirit? Discipline. Now this discipline feels like they're trying to punish you. Like being disciplined. Betrayal. Run away. Fight. You may have gotten into a fight with this person, this Queen of Wands in reverse energy. Beauty. I do think that you find them very beautiful. There's something very beautiful about them to you. Machine. Thrown in. Oop. Realities in reverse. Scrambled in reverse. Perhaps you prevented something from happening. Community in reverse. There's something about community, something revolving the community going wrong, and something that was never ending coming to a stop. Man, I don't know. Talking to us, somebody who controls time and has a deep soul history with someone, multiple people. So who is this other person to the collective then? This, not the Queen of Wands, but the other person that the Queen of Wands doesn't want them. It's like, it's almost like this reminds me of trying to stop a union between two soul people from collaborating and making something together or something like that. The High Priestess in reverse. There's something about you not knowing about your intuition, or like, yeah, like you're not in touch with your intuition. And if you get into touch with your intuition, it'll help you make a choice that's more grounded. Clarify the Hierophant for me, please, Spirit. The Queen of Swords in reverse. I think that you let other people and other forces impact your decisions too much. There's this betrayal again. What about betrayal, Spirit? Queen of Wands. You feel betrayed. This whole situation was so cruel, needlessly cruel, I feel. And that's why it's bringing up all of these traumas for you. There was a needlessly cruel situation where someone that had some kind of authority was needlessly cruel. And this is really hard for you to let go of. And I think that for some of you, it may have been like a public thing. Like other people had to see this. Queen of Cups. There's something about communication here. Okay. I'm gonna ask now. Spirit, what does the collective need to know about this situation in order to heal, in order to make the choices that are aligned with their soul's journey? Why was I called to make this part 2? What else does the collective need to know before I end the reading? Okay. The Ace of Pentacles. You have an opportunity. Yeah, you have an opportunity. And it doesn't feel like it's a solo thing. It feels like it's something that you have to do with others. Something you have to do with others. And there aren't as many ways to go about it as you think there are. I think that you're actually confusing yourself by giving yourself too many options here. You're mulling over all the choices that you could make in your mind instead of committing to one, but there is an opportunity here for one of them. And I think you know which one that is. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Something about your stability, your inheritance. Page of Cups in reverse and the Fool. Oh, the Fool with the Emperor. You're afraid of... And there's the Hermit in reverse again. You're afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone. You're afraid of actually facing these things, of facing some kind of communication or miscommunication even. You have a power though. You have a power that's coming to you. Something about symbols. You might be remembering something about symbols. These symbols are important. I would suggest writing them down or taking note of them. Laughing and crying. Can't be caught. You can't find goodness because you lost your heart. Spirits to guide you. You have protection. Even if it doesn't feel like it all the time, you have this element of protection. God is protecting you. And I think it's because of this mission that you have. Because you have a mission to do something, to uncover something about your past. And for whatever reason, as hard as it is to admit, or to acknowledge, I think that your trauma had a role in this. I think that your trauma that you had in this life was a reflection of traumas that you've had in past lives and in other realms and realities, and this is the life where you get to unpack that. You need to get in touch with your heart. You need to cry. If you're afraid of reaching out to someone and talking to them because you're afraid of them seeing you at your most vulnerable, because you know you're not going to be able to contain your emotions, go to them with the emotions. Go to God with the emotions. Show your face in front of God. You don't need to wear a mask. You know, the beginning of the other day's reading, you know, part 1 to this was like, you know, even if, like, show yourself fully, show yourself in all of your darkness, in all of your hopelessness and your tears and your rage and your grief, and because God has always seen you in those states anyway. At least then you're forming a relationship with God by going to Him when you're struggling with this. Yeah, the Messenger. You're being given a key and some information, and you need to write down things. You need to. If you're like, you need to actually know, Spirit is being really stern with you. You have to write these things down. Even if you do not share them with anyone but yourself, you have to write them down. You can't just forget these things. take that step forward in fearlessly. Don't let anybody smother you. You have spirits to guide you. If you put your heart and mind to something, you will be successful. Don't hide the sun from your own eyes. This feels like the same energy that I read for a couple of months ago. This person who was hiding their eyes from the sun. Hiding their eyes from your past. Comparing, my future seems like one big past. I think that's duality. I mistook in last reading. I mistook duality by Slipknot for a System of a Down song that I'm for some reason forgetting. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of the song, but yeah, interesting. What is this past, Spirit? Can you tell me anything else about this past that the collective is uncovering and why it scares them so much? What is this past? Whoa. Did you see how it just like ricocheted? It knocked over Aphrodite's little heart tree. Love in the family tree. And this King of Pentacles in reverse. Some kind of greed. Five of Cups, loss. Greed and loss. I heard, I have been greedy and I have lost everything. The Chariot in reverse. Perhaps this was because of choices. Or perhaps you were in a situation in this life where certain choices were made. The Heart Eater. You lost your heart somewhere. The Lovers. Your heart. And there's an element of choices here. Choices that were made. Regret. Greed keeps coming back. Tell me more about greed, Spirit. What is this element of greed here? Page of Wands. Greed and hastiness. Not thinking clearly. The Hangman in reverse. Restlessness. Impulsive decisions. Not thinking, not waiting on things. Perhaps you're afraid of karma. Yeah, last reading I remember in part 1 I said karma instead of trauma. So maybe karma is something that you're concerned about. Things you've done. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. There's a lack of stability here. Maybe you don't feel stable enough to acknowledge. So it's like you're burying these choices, the hard work that's required to remember this past life and these passions I'm hearing. You're burying that under your insecurities or where you feel like you're not enough. Yeah, where you feel like you don't have enough or have what you want. What does the collective want, Spirit? I feel like you're in a bit of a dark place right now, Spirit. Collective. But Spirit feels you. Use this pain to alchemize and to transmute yourself. Because you have creator energy. And you're going back in time. But think about your decisions before you do this. If you want to go back in time to fix something, if you have this gift, right? If you have this gift of being able to mess with time like that, make sure you think about your decisions really quickly. Or not quickly, but maybe quickly. Yeah, think about your decisions quickly and steadily before you act. Don't do things hastily or out of cruelty towards yourself or others. Really think about your decisions right now instead of charging forward, and meditate on them and recognize where you may need to leave some things behind. Especially betrayals. When you're unpacking, sorry, I have to adjust my tripod. When you're unpacking some of this information, you may find out information about people that you are close to, and you need to be prepared for that. Things that people may have done. You may learn things that you didn't want to know, and you already are struggling with this. You can't undo anything. These decisions that you made them for a reason. You learned something from them. So if you're trying to use a gift to go back in time and undo something, you undo what you have learned and what others have learned. Something about dreams and clouds. The cloud, some kind of information database. You're walking away from something. You're being called to, at least. What does the collective need to walk away from, Spirit? I heard the fear of betrayal when I pulled out Seven of Swords in reverse. The fear that your family, Ten of Cups. Get rid of that fear of betrayal and things just open up for you. You get back in touch with your intuition. You have a stronger idea of what to know, like of what you know. I have to move this High Priestess back, but she was there. I have yet to tape her her chest, which I hate that I have to do that. Freaking YouTube. But yeah, the Tower. Things finally end and get to be transformed, but you have to let go of this fear of betrayal. That's then you get your wish fulfillment. Then you get these happy commitments. But you see betrayal in everything, and that fear drives you rather than letting your clarity and your power drive you, because you have a lot of power. It prevents you from being able, your fear of betrayal prevents you from being able to communicate. And communication is integral to this mission. So what is the collective's mission? I just heard it'll be different for everyone. So I'm going to pull the cards that just fell, but I'm not going to dig into it too much more. Definitely has something to do with the community. Run away from home. It's raining harder. Let me flip this. That's raining harder. Earthly being in reverse. Run away from home. You're running away from this mission. You're running away from home. You acknowledge that, or do you not acknowledge? You don't want to acknowledge that you are an earthly being, or that you used to be. Someone doesn't. But I feel like it's you. You're drowning in it, this information. You're drowning in these feelings. I feel like for some of you, this may be narrowed down to a couple of specific people in the collective. So if you feel like you no longer resonate with the energy and you want to tap out, feel free to do that, because I did notice a couple of energies tap out. And that's because this moving forward is a message for someone very specific. So I feel like you guys got what you needed to from this reading. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to continue reading for this part of the collective. But yeah, if you felt that, then I'm confirming that for somebody. But stay tuned for my next couple of collective messages and readings. Spontaneous. You need to be more spontaneous. And I think spontaneity scares you because you confuse it with impulsivity. But spontaneity and impulsivity are not the same thing. Don't do things carelessly without thinking. Consider other people, you know? Movement. Young soul. What about young soul spirit? Sweet perfumes of incense. Trauma from before this life affects you now. Your past must stay your past. Forgiveness. Gratitude. Meditate, you'll receive the answers in stillness. Humanity. The past. Yeah, you have had a long past history. You're older than you think you are. I know we have this young soul out here, but like, we have trauma from before this life affects you now, and I think that this is stuff from when you were a young soul. There may be certain smells that have been bringing you back to this. If you feel called to get some incense and burn some incense, I recommend that. When you're in question about what to do in a situation, the answer is to forgive for you. Also, perhaps you wrestle with your religion or your religious trauma or your religion and this power that you have, this cosmic power. You're just being called to meditate on it. Meditate on that. Meditate on your past. Meditate on your trauma, you know. Seek forgiveness and spontaneity and have gratitude for the things that you've been through and what they've taught you. Your past has to stay the past. You can't go back to it. Things aren't always going to tie back in the same way you think that they are, but you are experiencing movement, forward movement. Perhaps you have had a lot of lives in this past cycle that have been otherworldly lives, like alien lives maybe, not earthly, but these old memories you are getting are earthly, and that can be hard for you. I feel you have a hard time with that, maybe just because of the power that you've come into. The lonely journey of the priestess. Yeah, there are some things that others aren't going to be able to know either or understand. Broken and hatched. So through this pain, you've birthed something new about yourself. But it's interesting because it doesn't really feel like something new, this gift. It feels like something old. Like, it feels like this gift that you were given isn't something that, like, all of a sudden you were given. It feels like you were given the ability to find it, that something that was already within you that you used to have, you used to know. Cosmic exploration. Yeah, you're traveling the astral and body as a house. Same information as last time, definitely reminding you, you know, to treat your body well, because there's a lot of energies coming through it. You are a vessel. You, who I'm talking to, is a vessel for a lot of energies. So you need to take frequent breaks and steps back, physically in nature, things that are very human to remind you of your humanity. While you are also like you need to take breaks from this. Yeah, you need to take breaks from it because something is hatching from you and it's not something that everybody will understand. So you're worried about someone though. And that's what I feel like I keep missing. Who are you worried about? It could be both of the people that I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna ask Spirit who you're worried about. I feel like you know who you're worried about. Hopefully I've touched on it at least a little bit, but it just came back to me, so this ring keeps falling off of me. It doesn't fit. I heard from Epic, the musical, Penelope's waiting, 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 of her just waiting for Odysseus. Spirit, I ask you, who is the collective worried about, Spirit? One second, there's a pop-up on my phone, so I have to turn the video off and start it again. Who's the collective worried about? You're worried about the conflict, just generally. It has caused you a lot of anxiety. I feel like the anxiety has eased a little bit as you've been thinking about your options on how to move forward. But yeah, there's been a lot of anxiety. You definitely have an idea of how you're going to move forward, though. Let me see what Spirits, because I feel like you already know. You know who you're worried about and you have an idea. So what is the collective's idea? What advice do you have, Spirit, on these ideas that the collective has on how to move forward? I'm gonna take all of these. We have the Empress and the Four of Cups. You're still missing something. You have this deep knowing and this inner knowing, and a good chunk of what you're planning to do is good, but you're missing something. Something about heartbreak, pain, Six of Wands, confidence. We have the, I'm gonna cover this with another card. We have the High Priestess in reverse. Yeah, so you're missing something. You're coming in with a lot of fire, a lot of passion, a lot of energy. You want to come in with a lot of stability here in your choice, but there's something you're missing about pain, about heartbreak. Yeah. I'm going to pull from the Lover's Oracle. Oh my goodness, the card just fell out. Surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and it will all work out. Perhaps, interesting. I'm trying to readjust the tripod. I feel like my readjustment actually has a bit of a message here. I feel like you need to readjust your perspective to something. Like, change the way that you're thinking about something. You know, in the beginning of this part 2, the song that I channeled, let's go through that piece by piece here in a minute after I pull some cards from this deck. What does the collective need to know about this decision, Spirit? Because this feels close to the heart, so I don't know. I feel like these cards are helpful here. Because for you, I feel like for somebody in the collective, this is romance. These are people that you love. I mean, for everybody, this is people that you love, but these are like, maybe like you're choosing between two people for somebody, or something like that. Only time will tell. So yeah, your decisions and how people respond to them, you can't predict that. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised where this leads. I feel like there's an energy here of change. Change, not... yeah, not being surrendered to change. There's also balance here. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. So don't just agree to something just to agree, you know? Whatever you do moving forward, because I feel like it's communication based, it's okay if it's challenging. Don't resist change. Only time will tell how anybody will respond to anything or how it's going to go. So Spirit's not going to tell you ways in which, you know, this could happen, the ways in which it could play out, because there's so many different ways depending on how you go about it, and you also have multiple ideas. But I think that before you do anything, you have to surrender the old, because if you're trying to do this to make space for something that's new and good for you, you have to surrender the things that no longer serve you. And I feel like for you, that's partially those people that you had to walk away from, or that betrayal that you had to walk away from, that lack of acceptance and that trauma and the way that it affects your health mentally. Yeah, the moon in reverse. You will get clarity soon on which decision is the best for you, but there are going to be some things you can't know, and you need to get in touch with your intuition before you act on this, because there's something that you're missing. Something regarding heartbreak, regarding letting go of the past. You know, I think that you need to spend some time in the dark. Acknowledge where you've been first. And it's going to be painful. You have to kind of go back in time, and you have power over time. I kept picking that up. So, you know, when you go back in time for your emotional life first, your emotional self, go back in time for you, for healing. Don't change anything. Just remember, acknowledge, give your respects to the versions of yourself that came before you, and also acknowledge how the people who came before you generationally made these impacts on you. Don't rob yourself, though, of change and new growth. Why would you? Why would you rob yourself of change and new growth? In this space right here we have made for each other, you can say anything and I will not flinch. I will not abandon you. Unwrap the worst that you have done. Watch me hold them up to the light and not even flinch. God loves you for who you are. It does not matter. If you are listening to this, I don't care how much of a monster you may think you are, how many things that you have done that make you feel unworthy. God won't even flinch. I mean, that's like almost verbatim one of the channeled messages I got in the song. One of the lyrics in the song I sang at the beginning of this reading, one of the channeled messages was, I see what you've been, I know what you'll become. I will not flinch at the worst things you have done. No more waiting, angel. What's done is done. So the past is in the past. You can't wait to acknowledge any of this anymore. But you also can't hold yourself to a standard of who you used to be when you are still actively growing. You are becoming more in touch with your intuition. It's just taking you a while. There are still things that you're missing, and that's why it's important for you to get still. So here's a compass. That's the first lyric. We talked about that compass energy already. Like, you feel like you're being drawn in a specific direction. Like magnetism, a compass. Take comfort in where you're being guided, because that's where the harvest is. If you feel like you're being guided to something, yeah, you need to listen to that ear. You deserve to be taken seriously. You may feel too weak to go forward with it, or you may feel like somebody views you as weak or would view this decision as weak. Don't listen to them. Listen to your intuition, listen to your spirit, to what that's telling you. Listen to what this internal compass is telling you, because God is giving you a compass. So here's a compass, here's a feather. Fly, go towards it. I'll be your comfort, I'll be your mirror. When all is darkness, you shall think clearer. So get in the dark. Literally, I'm hearing like, this is something I do actually, like get in the shower and turn all the lights off and just be with the water in complete darkness. That will help you. It's just you and God, you know, set the intention. Just you, your soul, and God, and go on this, I'm hearing timeline journey. Go back in time. Bring your connection and go back in time. I see what you've been. Yeah, I know what you've done. Father, mother, sister, brother, friend, guide, lover, great reflector. We are all one with each other. There's no separation between you and these people, these other people that you care about deep down. The wax has all melted. Look at that. I don't know if you can really see the wax on that candle there, but it is going. It's been all over this black bandana that I use. Wax melting. Also with feathers, it reminds me of Icarus flying too close to the sun. Maybe you feel like you flew too close to the sun and melted or got burned or something. And you can see the rising sun. I mean, there was this element, something about a mission and seeing and something having to do with the sun being like a soul mission or something. So that could be relevant. I definitely know of some spiritual things that I can't speak on right now, but I know that energy. Pay no mind to the battles that are won. This reminds me of Christopher's The Humbling River that I mentioned last reading. Yeah, and there's a message here of like, these battles, we're all one. Like, you know, these battles are, we're fighting for things that are necessary, yes, if we're defending ourselves, but also like forgiveness is essential here. There's an element here of community, taking each other hand in hand. My son, spelled like S-U-N, and my son, spelled S-O-N as well. Waxy feathers, so that kind of combines the feathers and the wax. Stormy weather, so something you're going through that feels like a storm. You also may find power in channeling magic or energy from storms. Bound and tethered, two together. So you may have some sort of soul contract with someone. It's bound together, two together, can't be severed, could do better. So yeah, there's something that you can't be severed from, but you could do something better with it, something different, something better than what you're thinking, and that aligns with this. So there's something you're missing. Write a letter just to send her. So for one of you, this is telling you to literally write a letter to someone, like a physical letter. Everything that you would want to say to them, and you can send it to her. This doesn't have to be a woman, but for some of you it is. You know, that it came through like that for a reason. For others of you, this is a message to like a guide. Maybe writing a letter to Aphrodite about what's going on, or to Persephone. Persephone's energy came up earlier. So writing a letter to a deity or something like that, like a manifestation letter. Either way, there's something about physically writing things down, writing a letter to send to somebody. If this is a communication thing with somebody that was involved in this conflict, Yeah, it might help. Could you ever seek some shelter? Clear your mind and mirror, mirror. There's an element here of mirror work, needing to look in the mirror. For some of you, you may be on some kind of like twin flame journey. I don't really tap into that kind of energy often, but that could be a thing for you. I mean, a lot of counterpart energy did come through, and the energy that I was feeling was like somebody was trying to come between you and a counterpart. So that could be significant for you, writing your counterpart a letter. For one of you, I feel like it's just to get your thoughts in order. For another one, I feel like you might actually send it, and I think that the person would actually appreciate that a lot, because they miss you just as much as you miss them. I feel, you know, like if this is your counterpart in soul, I feel like you also know this, like, you know that you want to take them seriously, you want them to take you seriously, you're just like looking for the confidence and the know-how of how to fix this or something. Could you ever seek some shelter? Yeah, like I think that, you know, there was this rain energy. You feel like you're being rained on and drowning, and I feel like you know that there is something that can shelter you from this rain, that can help you with in this stormy weather. And I think that, you know, you need to clear your mind and look in the mirror so that you know how to reach this shelter, and the shelter is God protecting you. Teach each other, reach each other, be his brother, be her lover. So this feels like, you know, teaching each other on this is like wide scale, you know, and there's that element of soul family again, you know. So for somebody that's listening, you know, there's forgiveness here on actually a lot of levels. I mean, for somebody I'm picking up on in the collective, it's like multiple family members that this is talking about, and you're all here to teach each other, and that familial energy is really important. I was just looking ahead to my dragon there that you can kind of see. Look at how it's shining, that sword. Yeah, this is a long family lineage, I feel. Be one body, be one people, be one chapel, be one steeple. There's connection here, interconnection. Be my children, be my garden, be my sheep, and be my harvest. I will sing you, love and clean you. Be my eyes, and I'll always see. If you are God's eyes, you will always see everything through the eyes of God. And that includes other people and yourself, and other people will see you. I'm hearing the phrase, the divine in me sees the divine in you. All right. Honestly, I think that that's your reading, guys. I'll pull one card, maybe more than one, but I'm going to close out the reading here in a minute. Last but not least, we're going to be using this Tarot of the Sorceress deck. Last messages for the collective spirit. The devil. You need to free yourself. And you need to let these endings end once and for all. Pour into the things that you love, that really light you up, that light you up with love from the inside out, because you know what these things are. You are so loved. Like, I feel like you are you've been on a really long journey, and like, God trusts you with all of this strength. Like, God trusts you to hold the darkness down for him in a way. But yeah, things are definitely ending. And quickly. Yeah, quickly ending. And, you know, you're learning a lot. Like, you've learned so much. I don't think you give yourself enough credit for how much you've learned with this Three of Earth. Like, from life to life to life, you really have learned. You know, and like, it might seem like you're sorting through the dead bodies of your past self to like really come to terms with this, but like, this is sacred knowledge that you're undercovering. And undercovering, I don't know, that felt like a weird way to say that, but like, you're like going undercover, uncovering this secret knowledge of this like family tree and these like this sacred information, and like, you have to treat it as sacred. This is sacred. You felt that it was sacred. That's why maybe you ran from it. But now it's time to stop running from it, because it's going to come in quick. And now is the time to release these conflicts. What is over is over. You can't bring something back from the dead, but you can understand how it has shaped you. Something about honoring someone, doing right by someone. Anything else there? Three of Swords. But music. There's something about heartbreak and music here. Using music to communicate. Communicate your heartbreak, your feelings. Perhaps you do this with someone else. Something about music. Bird song, background music, songs. Yeah, music. You got, oh my god, I have such a small amount of blank cards in this deck, and you got both blank cards. The future is up to you. Honestly. Leave behind, yeah, we have left behind. Betrayal. Your past must stay the past. Forgiveness. Family forgiveness. You are a descendant of a really long family tree. You have an outside connection that is very powerful. And your past must stay the past. You're being offered a new beginning here. So have forgiveness for those who have betrayed you. If you have to go into higher dimensions or whatever to do that, do that. But the attachment to betrayal and the attachment to the cycle of betrayal, it needs to be severed. It needs to be cut. And, you know, there's a lot of trauma there. That's why these traumas are coming up. That's, you know, so when you do this, you will understand why you went through what you went through, and you will feel less used. You will feel less abused. Less like a puppet, less like a toy. Because you will be claiming your own power, and nobody can take that from you, because that is between you and God, and you and God only. I know I said I was going to end the reading, but Spirit is being really pushy with this specific reading, and you know, this doesn't always happen, and I feel really obligated to listen. So last cards for the collective spirit. Set. Short-sightedness, ambition, and narcissism. Don't let your ego get in the way. And don't let others' ego get in the way from your confidence, your magnetism. You are being drawn to something. And it is important to prioritize truth and justice and your duty as a soul. Your understanding that you have a duty. And there's something about companionship too. You're coming into self-realization. Yes, you are being judged right now. If you felt that energy of judgment, you are being looked at very carefully. That's why your decisions matter so much right now. That's why your decisions matter so much right now, because you're being looked at on a companionship level, and that's why you feel so obligated to value truth and duty right now. I'm hearing take accountability for short-sightedness. You're very ambitious. Just make sure that you don't let narcissism of yourself or others get in the way. Yeah, reground and realign right now before you make any big decisions. That's something that you're learning in this lesson. How to align before you make decisions. Yeah, the truth. You're ready for spiritual transformation. Hit the books, find truth, and break through the illusions. So you have to deconstruct things. Deconstruct everything you think you know. Before you enter that dark shower or bath or whatever with the lights off with God, like, enter it as a newborn. Like you know nothing. Like you know nothing. See everything from a higher perspective. This is your reading, collective. Thank you so much for being here. If this was helpful for you, please leave a like, a comment, please. I would love to hear from each and every one of you. And every subscribe helps. I love reading for you all. And I hope to see you in the next video.